Now, sadly, we can't make every episode as interesting as the one featuring Coconut Man. Some of these things have to be a bit more sterile. So, what we can do, or what we have to do, is getting back to the larger economy, like a country-sized economy. We've got to go back and understand how we manage the economy back there. And there's a few little things we've got to understand before we can go back to understanding things about productivity. Anyway, from MMT, a key insight of MMT about the economy is the relationship between spending, productive capacity, and inflation. So, key insight from MMT. MMT is a thing known as modern monetary theory. A good version of economics that's coming out. It's been around for a while, but it's only kind of getting mainstream just now. And as far as I'm aware, and I consider it the best one around the place at the moment. So the way I kind of teach the relationship between these things, and I apologise, like I said, not everything's as exciting as Coconut Man. We have to go back to a school and think about fractions. Spending as a fraction over productive capacity. Equals inflation. Now, the way I do this is like to think of, let's just start off with spending being 10 less and productive capacity. And let's make our inflation target. Our inflation target is 1. So that's what we're aiming at. So in this case, because we've got our spendings at 10 and it doesn't matter on the units, productive capacity is at 10, then 10 over 10 cancels to be 1 and we've achieved our target. Now the question is, what if we want, or if our productive capacity collapsed to say 5, if we do nothing with our spending, 10 over 5 is 2, which is above our target aim. So there's a problem here. So how do we fix this? Well, it would mean we'd have to drop our spending down to 5. Now we're back to 1. And going the other way, if we made this 50, then what do we have to do with our spending? We have to balance them up. 50, and we keep our, or if we didn't balance, if we just left that at 5, then as a fraction, 5 on 50 is 1 on 10. So this is like, which is 0.1, which is miles below our target of 1. So what we have to do then, of course, is bring our spending up to 50, and that brings us back to a fraction that equals 1. And so this simple little method, if you like, shows us what the basic way you manage your macroeconomy, your economy at the level of a country. Now, so I had to explain it to people, I use a graph, like a timeline. And so let's say our productive capacity was here. Doesn't matter what here is. Here can be 10, let's say. Then, if we want to achieve our inflation target of 1, what does our spending have to be? So our spending has to be 10 also. So I'll just put that up there, 10. So then if I use a dotted line to indicate some change in productive capacity over time. So if my productive capacity dropped down over time to 5, then what do I have to do with my spending? My spending also has to drop down to 5 as well. And same in the other direction, like we just went through before with the example, if my productive capacity goes up to 15, then what do I have to do with my spending? Bring it up. It's a pretty simple thing, but this is a very important relationship in the economy, and most economists and most of the public really understand this very poorly. Another thing I want to talk about is I'll just set it up a bit more realistic. So what's typically happened over time, so from say 1940 for instance, to, let's just look at to 1970, what was happening most of the time, I'll do productive capacity first. So productive capacity was at a level, and then we've pursued growth economics, so it grows a bit, and it grows a bit more, 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 and what do you know? It grows a bit more. So what do we have to do with our spending then? It was there for a start, and the spending's got to increase a bit, and the spending's got to increase a bit more, and the spending's got to increase a bit more, and a bit more, and a bit more, and a bit more to stay track with the productive capacity. Now, I'm just going to park that there. We'll come back to this later to because it's an important thing to understand, especially this window of time. You'll see why I did that. So we'll park that there. Now we've got to go and look at, or we're going to go have a look at spending inflation in the next little video. I'll expand on them a bit. And then in the video after that, we'll come back to productive capacity, and that's where we go back to Coconut Man and some of the lessons we got from him.